Why is it that most parents today are doing better on paper than the grandparents ever did, with better jobs, higher incomes, even the internet and AI? Yet somehow, it feels harder to actually get ahead and feel like all your effort is paying off. If you want to build more wealth than 99% of parents, you first have to understand a few uncomfortable truths. I know this because after years of studying how money actually works, I chose to store my savings differently. And that decision has allowed my family to live internationally and travel while still building wealth without relying on higher income or luck. Imagine you're feeding your baby a bottle of milk. Every day, it looks the same bottle, same size, but quietly, without telling you, someone starts adding a little water to it. At first, you don't notice, but eventually, your baby drinks more than ever, but somehow still stays hungry. That's a useful way to think about what's happening with our money. The milk represents real value, the water represents currency expanding. Every time more currency is introduced, the mixture becomes thinner. There's more liquid, but less nourishment. This helps explain something that many parents feel, but struggle to put into words. You earn more than your parents did, you work hard, you save, yet it still feels harder to get ahead. It's that the measuring stick itself is shrinking, and this is the part most parents miss. They try to fix their finances without questioning the measuring stick itself, like slowly diluting a baby's milk and wondering why they're not growing like they used to. Thriving in a changing world comes down to one thing: understanding where people will store their purchasing power next before currency dilution leaves them no choice. This leads us to the most important idea in this video. Free economies don't choose a form of money because governments tell them to, they choose money based on properties. Good money needs to be hard to create, so it holds value over time, hard to fake and easy to verify, so trust is simple, durable, so it doesn't break down, hard to change, so good money stays as good money. That's why, across thousands of years and many cultures, people independently gravitated toward gold. Not because of politics, because it fulfilled the properties of good money better than anything else. But after the 2008 global financial crisis, something new emerged. Not created by a government, not run by a company, not controlled by any individual. It was designed specifically to address the weaknesses of the system we've been talking about. Before even naming it, consider this. In just 15 years, this asset went from zero to over $3 trillion in total value at its peak, making it the fastest growing monetary asset in modern history. That didn't happen because of marketing. It happened because it solved a real problem. This system took the strongest properties of gold and adapted them for the digital world. It is fixed supply by design, easy to verify, portable across the internet, divisible into tiny units, durable, and extremely difficult to change. You don't need a bank, you don't need permission, you don't need someone to hold it for you. When stored properly, no company, government, or institution can freeze or confiscate it. That system is Bitcoin. Over the last decade, Bitcoin has been the best performing major asset in the world. Not because it's magic, because it's built with different rules. We don't know what the next 10 or 20 years will look like. History shows that periods of economic stress do test institutions, and when trust weakens, people naturally look for ways to take responsibility for their own savings. Not out of fear, but out of caution. This isn't about getting rich quickly, it's about choosing a form of money designed to hold value over long periods of time. Even small, consistent amounts can matter. And to make this tangible, I built a simple calculator that shows what would have happened if someone had saved in Bitcoin over the last 6 years. Even $10 a day builds real wealth. Not as a promise of what happens next, just as a way to understand how compounding works when applied to a fixed supply asset. For thousands of years, gold was the best form of money humanity had. Now, for the first time, there's a digital system that keeps gold's strengths and removes many of its weaknesses. That doesn't mean the road ahead will be smooth, but it does mean the rules are changing. If this video made something click for you, send it to your partner, watch it together. Have the conversation most couples never get around to having, about money, the future, and the kind of life you want for your family.